What's going on, guys? Bringing you a new fantasy draft video today. In this one, we're using all alumni teams. As you can see here, we got the Anaheim Ducks alumni, Arizona Coyotes, Boston, Buffalo, Calgary. Every single alumni team in this game except for Columbus and Minnesota, just because they were the two lowest rated and they had like the kind of worst alumni players, I guess you could say. A lot of the players actually for their alumni teams were just current NHLers like Ryan Johansson on Columbus, Mikael Granlund from Minnesota. Hartford Whalers here is actually the team I'm going to be for this. As you guys can see, I've actually got the Whalers shirt on. I just want to quickly go through here. You can see all of the different teams' top players there in the bottom left. Now, there are a lot of duplicate players, which is why I don't want to do like an entire franchise mode with these teams, just because there'd be so much duplicates. But for like a one-season fantasy draft, I think it'd be a lot of fun. Quebec obviously had a ton of really good players, so as you can see there, there's all the teams, a bunch of alumni teams, and right here you can actually see all their overalls. So in the Pacific Division, you got LA there, the highest rated, 95 overall. Kind of surprised actually, Oilers aren't higher rated. They have Gretzky, Coffey, Curry, Messier, but LA must have some really good players as well. Central Division there, St. Louis, 94 overall. Obviously, having Gretzky is a big help. I think who's the lowest rated? Canucks, 85 in the Pacific. Central, just like in real life, is pretty competitive there. Atlantic, Detroit's 99 overall. They're just so stacked. Montreal, one below there, 98. Ottawa's the worst, just like in real life. They're 80 overall. And in the Metro here, what do we got? So Carolina's the lowest, 83. And the highest is the Rangers at 95. Again, if you have Gretzky on your team, it is definitely a plus. So I'm surprised too, Detroit's one higher than Montreal. I thought they were both 99, but Detroit's a pretty sick franchise, and obviously we had the best alumni there. So it's a fantasy draft, doesn't really matter. I just wanted to kind of show you guys the ratings there in case you've never seen them before. Obviously, we're going to have the fantasy draft on. They're all going to be like 27 years old. Again, the weird thing is going to be like all the duplicates, how that's going to work out, but should be fun. And actually, guys, I'm going to make one trade here before we get to the draft, and that's turning salary cap off, as I think the computers will take that into consideration when they're drafting, so they won't spend more than the salary cap, whereas I can, so this will hopefully make it a bit more fair and competitive, I guess. And I just loaded the fantasy draft. As you can see there, we're picking 13th. I'm thinking we'll probably randomize like 3 times. Whatever we get, we get. Probably if we pick top 4, we can get Gretzky because there's 4 of him available. So here we go. 1, 2, 3. Wow, we got 11 twice there, I guess. It was meant to be. St. Louis actually picking first overall, so I guess they do get Gretzky. New Jersey, Minnesota, New York will probably also get him here. So let's see. Gordie Howe there, pick number 10. I wouldn't mind bringing him back to Hartford. That's actually his last season in the NHL at 51 years old. Shea Weber must have been a Nashville alumni. He's actually getting picked by Nashville there. Tolvanen, Byram. So all these like AHL guys with elite potential. They're taking the prospects. Gretzky, Lemieux, Gretzky. Zadina first overall. I don't know about that pick for St. Louis. That's an interesting pick for sure. Gretzky, Lemieux makes sense. I think even, Gordie Howe there makes sense, but I don't know, like the prospects, that's pretty aggressive. Now, we're Hartford, I'm wearing the shirt. I feel like we gotta take Gordie Howe here. Only one Lemieux available, of course, as he played for Pittsburgh, so don't mind that at all there for pick number 11. I'm thinking Patrick Waugh would be a pretty good goalie if we can get him. Pick number 21 here, round 2. Serge Savard, obviously 92 overall, would be a good defenseman. Goalies there. Never mind, looks like both Patrick Waughs are already gone. Obviously, the Colorado-Montreal one. I feel like we can probably wait, though. As long as we get 90-plus goalie, we'll be okay. And Chris Pronger played for the Hartford Whalers, so we can get back-to-back Hartford alumni. There's 4 Prongers available. Let's not risk it, though. We'll take them there. We'll actually get a close pick here. So we got our forward, we got our defenseman. I'm thinking next here, we probably go and get our goalie. Savard's actually still there. That's kind of surprising. Niedermeyer. Those two guys won a cup together in Anaheim. We might have to do that. Sawchuk, Plant. There's still 294 goalies. A few hauls there. We got to take Niedermeyer. I think it's a cup-like duo. We got to make it happen. So I'm liking our first 3 picks already. Next pick, though, I think I do want to get like a franchise goaltender if one's available. Savard there gets taken. So Park. Let's see. Housley. Trottier is a really good player. I don't like the goalies. We'll go Trottier. Smith, Belfour, I mean, lots of 90s. I feel like we need a first-line center there to play with Howe, so Trottier, I think, is the pick for sure. So next pick here, guys, round number 5. Still a couple Parks. There's a Housley there, Murphy, Gonchar wouldn't be too bad. And you know what, guys, I think I'm going to go Housley here. Simple reason because he's got 85 endurance, whereas Park, for some reason, only has 80, so top 4 guy, we want him to be skating a lot. Obviously, too, our defense is stacked now. Already have half of it done, all 90+. Only a couple forwards, but I think there's going to be more like good forwards available later on than defense. Now, Belfort just got picked. Okay, as I say that, I think we got to go with Gordie Howe's son here in Mark Howe, the father-son duo. That's pretty sick. So our defense is set. We'll wait till like the end of the draft now to get the bottom pair. Our top four is stacked. Still need a goalie though. Also need some forwards. So let's see. Nichols isn't too bad. Michel Goulet would also be pretty good. Round out that first line. Cujo, Turco. We got a couple Hextalls. 3 moves available would probably be decent. Jaguar actually played for Hartford, so that'd be kind of sick. We do need a goalie. I'm going to risk it and take a forward, and then we'll take a goalie with the next pick. So I'm thinking Michel Goulet just gives us a sick first line there. Him, Trottier, and Gordie Howe. Next pick, though, for sure, we got to go with a goalie here. Hopefully, one of the high-rated ones still available. Newman and Anderchuk. So we're starting to get to, like, the mid-80s. Keith Tkachuk, he wouldn't be too bad. So Cujo's still there. Moog. Okay, so we're going to go Cujo, highest-rated guy. I'm a Cujo fan. So I feel like already team's pretty solid. Now we do need some forwards. Luckily, we got a good goalie, stacked defense. I feel like as long as we get a bunch of mid-80s, we should be okay. Couple Tkachuks, Laney McDonald. I feel like I got to go Laney McDonald, and then hopefully one of the Tkachuks is still there. I feel like if there's a guy with multiple, players available, better chance of him still being there. So I'm liking the team. Jason Arnott just got taken. All right, both Tkachuks gone. Trevor Linden would not be too bad of a second-line center. I feel like we'll go with that. So top 6, honestly, is still looking pretty solid. I'm hoping we can get like 80+ for all the forwards. I'm not sure how many good alumni there are available, like how it's going to work out, but should be okay. Adam Graves, not too bad, actually. I think we're going to go with Graves here, fill out the second line. Honestly, going to be pretty sick. So round number 12 now, still working on that forward group. Ferraro there. Ferraro played for Hartford. So that's actually kind of sick. Like, I wanted some Hartford alum. Worked out perfectly. Got Gordie Howe in that first round. Got his son later on, Chris Pronger, who also played for Hartford. Ferraro there was drafted by Hartford. I feel like it was meant to be. Hopefully, can bring Hartford their first ever Stanley Cup. And as well, the captain, Gordie Howe, in his, what would it be, like, second year for Hartford. That'd be kind of cool. Pekka there. Olli Jokinen. Ricker, let's see. What are his stats like? Not really the greatest. Duff, pretty powerful shot, good hands. Dick Duff, he's kind of just got a nice name, so we're going to go Dick Duff there. We'll get one more winger here, and then we can even start working on the bottom pair for defense. So I feel like they're probably going to get more playtime than the fourth line of forwards. Simmer here, 84 overall, highest guy available. Love the stash. Decent hands, pretty good shot actually. Speed, defensive stats aren't bad. Like, this guy looks fine, so he looks like an alumni player as well when you saw him there. So he'll be a perfect fit there with Ferraro, who I think also has a pretty good stash. So I think after this, best player available, whether it's forward or defenseman, looks to be pretty much all forwards. We'll check D here. So actually a lot of like lower 80s. We can take any of those guys. So forwards here, who's kind of the best fit for us? So looking at this Danny Grant guy, really good defensive stats, 80-60 awareness, 91 shot block, 89 stick check. He's going to be a fourth line forward for us, so that's actually kind of perfect. Basically, we're just looking for like the role players now for that fourth line. Doesn't really matter who's got the best shot or whatever, as long as they have good defensive stats, even physical stats, because we also have to kind of take into consideration what the coach's chemistry is going to be. Vickers here, 88, 85, 88, 86 strength. Not too bad, definitely could consider him. Check this out, guys. Paul McLean here, former head coach of the Senators. Really good stats for fourth liner. 88 D awareness, 86 faceoffs, could even have him play center, 89 shot block and stick check, 90 strength, 90 body check. He's also got a pretty sick stash on him, so we're going to go Paul McLean there. Honestly, really liking the look of our team. I feel like because we're just doing one season here, we have a bit of an advantage. Other teams taking some of the higher rated prospects in terms of potential and stuff, but our team should be pretty stacked throughout. Darcy Tucker, I wouldn't mind Darcy Tucker at all on that fourth line role. He'd kind of be the perfect fourth liner for us. So we'll go Darcy Tucker there, and we'll make Paul McLean that center, as like we said, had really good face-off stats. So now just need a couple defensemen and a goaltender. Feel like too, the goalie doesn't matter too much, but we'll see kind of what the ratings are for them. And as you can see, there's actually some defensemen available now for the highest rated player. Toskala is still there, Hedberg, Kidd. So yeah, lots of decent rated goalies that could be our backup. So I'm thinking maybe Brian Allen. Let's see his stats here. 90 shot block, 85 endurance. Honestly, for bottom pair guy, he'll do just fine. So next pick here, guys, round number 19, second last pick. Giving us all forwards here. I'm going to save the backup goalie, I think, for the last pick. So defenseman, tons of guys to choose between. I'm not sure. We'll just have to take a look at all of them, see like who's got the best stats. Krupp there. Not too bad. I want somebody that's maybe got... Ooh. Terry Harper. 90D awareness, 90 shot block, 87 stick check. Physical stats are really nice as well. We're going to be taking Terry Harper. I feel like he's the perfect fit. So after this, we're just going to get a backup goalie. Highest rated, really doesn't matter. Looked like there were some decent guys still available. Honestly, like I was saying, I think our team is nice. Cup contenders, hopefully. We'll see, obviously, kind of how the other teams are looking. Goalies, Toskala. I mean, if they take shots on the other end, we're definitely not going to want him in the net, but he is the highest rated. You know what? We'll give him a chance of redemption here. Chance for Toskala to get that Stanley Cup. So there's our 20 picks, guys. We're just going to auto-sim the rest of it. Chances are, because we have like the NHL lineup filled in, the computer will just take prospects or whatever. So curious to see who they take. And check this out, guys. This is pretty sick. Our first computer pick after Toskala was Michael DiPietro. Obviously, big fan of him. Comes from my hometown. You also got Jet Wu there, so a couple Canucks prospects. Berggren there's not too bad. So again, does look like they mostly just take prospects. Honestly, I think this Hartford Whalers alumni team, fantasy draft team, whatever you want to call them, should have a very good shot of winning that Stanley Cup. And before I show you guys the lines, as you can see here, just switched Paul McLean to a center. Also, too, I thought like his player there was pretty sick with the stash. I was actually looking at a bunch of them. It's kind of cool. Like some of the older guys are wearing Jofas or whatever. I think like Laney McDonald's one. Also, he's got a pretty nice stash too. So I'll show it to you guys here. I really like kind of like, you know, the little touches. As you can see there, yeah, he does have the Jofa, the Rock, and the stash. To like Gordie Howe, that's like his younger player model when he actually played for Hartford when he was 50, so that's kind of interesting to see. I'll show you guys Pronger here. He played for Hartford when he actually was younger, so it does kind of fit. As you can see right there, Chris Pronger. Hopefully, him and Niedermeyer can really just shut it down for us on the back end. Gordie Howe, you guys will actually see when I show you the team ratings, though. So, getting to the team now. Again, I think we have a good shot at the Cup here. Team status there is contender. Honestly, I thought it would have been champion, but what are you going to do? So, first line there, Michel Goulet, Brian Trottier, and Gordie Howe. Should be pretty sick. They're all getting +1. Laney McDonald, Trevor Linden, and Ray Farrow actually on the second line. Graves, Duff, and Simmer there on the third line. Actually, I just remembered I have to switch Duff to a center as well. He's got 80 faceoffs there, so not too bad. And as you can see, they're also getting +1, so team chemistry is pretty good. And then fourth line here, we got Danny Grant, Paul McLean, and Darcy Tucker. I feel like it's a pretty solid fourth line. Now defense here, we got Scott Niedermeyer, Chris Pronger, obviously on the first pair. Second pair is Terry Harper and Phil Housley, and then the bottom pair there is Mark Howe and Brian Allen. Obviously, the plan was to have Housley and Howe on the second pair, but as you can see, it gives them both -3 when we do that, so I feel like it just wasn't worth it. Howe just unfortunately get a bit less minutes, but that way, like, otherwise, Housley's playing like an 87 opposed to a 91. Just didn't make a lot of sense. So, power play here looks pretty solid. We got Howe, Trottier, Goulet, Niedermeyer, Housley. Basically the starting lineup. Second unit there is also pretty solid, both getting +1. The four-mans are all getting 0. Penalty kill there. First one actually gets +3, so hopefully they can shut it down. Three-man's always the hardest thing to get chemistry for, 0 and -1. But overall, I really like the look of this team. I'll also show you guys the goaltending here. Cujo there is our starter. Toskala backing him up. So we actually have 2 Toronto alumni goalies I just noticed, which is kind of cool. Also here, I'll actually show you guys the captaincy. I'm sure you can kind of guess what it's going to be. Obviously, Gordie Howe is going to be wearing our C. Oldest player on the team. Played for the team when he was 50. Best player. And then the 2 alternates are actually just our D-top pair there in Niedermeyer and Pronger. And this is kind of cool, guys. In our first preseason game, we're actually matched up with the Carolina Hurricanes alumni, who is the team, of course, Hartford became. So we'll see which one of us is higher rated. Although it is preseason, so they're not going to have their best lineup. 95 offense for us, 97 defense, 89 goaltending. I think we have a really good team. And like I was saying, right there you can see a young Gordie Howe playing for Hartford, which obviously never happened. He was playing on Detroit, my favorite team. Now, their best player there, I have no idea who that is. Let me actually, I gotta check the lines because I want to know who is that guy. So looking at Carolina's lines here, that was actually Marcel Dion. I don't know why, I just couldn't recognize him. 92 overall. They got some 50s and 60s playing on this team. Obviously, it is preseason, so I guess they're wondering if maybe these guys are going to make the team. I feel like probably not, but we're going to get started, guys, with the sim now. Hope for the best. Again, I think we really do have a good shot at the Stanley Cup. So we're almost at the trade deadline here, guys. Just had a small trade happen. 280 overalls for Gersic there and a 7th round pick. Really, no big trades have happened, honestly. I think there was like one even smaller than that. Kind of surprised. Maybe no one wants to trade away their alumni players. But at the deadline, we're actually third in our division, 76 points, one back the Rangers, 35, 22, and 6. That's not too bad of a record at all. We'll see who our leading scorer is. And Brian Trottier, actually, not Gordie Howe, 60 points there in 63 games. So division looks to be pretty competitive. Both wildcards are in the Metro. We'll keep simming here. We actually have a couple games there back-to-back against the Minnesota North Stars. Should be making the playoff. And obviously after that, anything can happen. So this is kind of crazy, guys. We're at the end of the season here. Finished a record of 44, 31, and 7. We're in the playoffs with 95 points. But the season was crazy close. I guess that would happen after a fantasy draft. Every team would just be, so even. Our division there, the Penguins missed the playoffs with 94 points by 1. Like, that's insane. Even the worst teams, Flyers and Islanders, still at 85. High 70s is pretty much the Predators 75, I think, or Bruins 72, worst team in the league. Really isn't that terrible. Atlantic there, not even close though to being as good as the Metro. Like, our division was absolutely stacked. Trottier there, 79 points, 82 games, just under a point per game. It's kind of crazy. Like, we had one less loss. This stacked team misses the playoffs. Definitely, have to take a look at the lines for all the playoff teams we're playing, because clearly some other really good teams out there. Hal there at 72, so surprised Trottier was the best by that much. Goulet 66, Housley 56, Niedermeyer 53, Linden 51, McDonald there and Ferraro both had 44. Surprised Wood Prongraf 33, so not too bad. I guess they're saying he's more of a shutdown guy. Overall, though, I guess not too bad. Honestly, I thought the higher-end players would put up a bit more points, but we're in the playoffs, so hopefully we're more of a playoff team maybe than a regular season team. Cujo here, a little above 500. Toskal actually really good, 12-3. He also had better save percentage, better goals against. I feel like we're still going to run Cujo in the playoffs because Toskala probably had the better matchups. It seems like all the time the backup goalie just has a better record, better stats for whatever reason. So entire league, Gretzky, a couple of Gretzkys. You got Gretzky on the Devils 109, on the Rangers 105, Lemieux there 101, Shanahan 95 playing with Gretzky, another Gretzky 91, Solani, Howie Morenz there, Lafleur, Mavlich at 88 actually, Curry, Beliveau. So some guys were popping off. I think our team, we constructed a Stanley Cup champion team. We're even throughout. Hopefully that is the case. So our division there just absolutely stacked. Washington 107 didn't even win the conference. Tampa Bay tied in points, had one more regulation overtime win. New York there. So actually only 2 teams 100 plus. Again, that's just has to do with the parity. All the teams are so close. That's kind of nuts. We actually finished, what the heck? We finished 7th in the NHL. And yet we were literally a win away from not making the playoffs. I don't think I've ever seen that before. So Pittsburgh, where did they finish? They finished 10th in the NHL and missed the playoffs. That is just unfair. No justice in this world. So, wow. I mean, you hate to see that. Even Anaheim, Detroit, they're 89 points each, missing the playoffs. That is really unfortunate for those teams. The last place team there, as we already saw, the Boston Bruins Alumni. And really, for a last place team, they weren't that bad. So we'll see who we play here in the first round of the playoffs. Take a look at their lines. Again, should be fun. I think we have a well-constructed team. And it's the Washington Capitals. Okay. So right here, guys, they look at the Capitals team. You got Lafleur, Savard, and Solani on the first line. It's a pretty nasty first line. It's better than ours. Second line there, not too bad. You got Mavlich. Nieuwendyke's third line center is pretty solid. Even the fourth line there, not too bad at all. Defense, you got Dennis Potvin. After that, just okay. So our defense is a lot better. Goaltending, they got Furin as their starter. Hextall backup. Really good backup. Really unnecessary. Here we go, guys. Capitals. This, of course, won the division, but tied with Tampa there for the league lead. We get one in the second game. This is going to be a tough first-round matchup. Next 2 games here. 3-2 loss, 4-3 win. So we're hanging in there. 2-2 after 4. We'll take it. Game 5 now. Going back to Washington. Come on. There we go. Just have to win one of the next 2. Huge upset on the Capitals. Game 7. Okay, come on. We need to win this one. Please, Hartford. We don't want to go out in the first round. Here we go. First period. Get 2 there. Trottier and Graves. Graves again are not for them. Big third period there. 6-3 win. Ferraro, Goulet, and Grant. So we pull off the upset there on the Capitals. You'd love to see that. Alright, guys, so we got a tough second round matchup here with the New York Rangers. Curry and Gretzky reunited. We also got Brett Hull on that first line. Are you kidding me? Second line, Peter Stastny, Keith Tkachuk's not bad. Claude Lemieux there, he's going to be mixing it up. Evgeny Svechnikov, I kind of like seeing that. Defense, they got Larry Murphy. Okay, their defense is trash. I was going to say their forwards were so good. I'm not sure why they're rocking that for defense. Like I was saying, in free agency, there was a bunch of low 80 alumni guys. Same goalie as Dustin Cujo. And a really good backup. I'm not sure why these guys keep taking high-rated backups, but look at that defense. It's not even close to ours. That first line, though, is deadly, so it's going to be a good matchup. I feel like in the playoffs, hopefully our depth can kind of be the difference maker. I don't know if you guys saw there, too. Scott Niedermayer, currently leading scorer. 7 assists there through 7 games. So it's in the first 2 games here. These are both in New York. 4-3 win, 4-3 loss. All right, so looks like going to be another close series. Going home to Hartford here. 3-0 win, 3-1 loss. Tied up 2-2 again after 4. 3-2 win. All right, we just got to win one of the next 2 games. Come on. And Game 6, we get it done. Past the New York Rangers. All right, that's what I like to see. So, conference final now against the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're 8-3 through the first 2 rounds. We're 8-5. That Rangers team, I guess, we do have a sick top pair in Niedermayer and Pronger. Was able to probably shut down their top line. And after that, we just, torched that crappy 4 defensemen there. Linden, 14 points through 13 games. So, proven to be a playoff player for us. Take a look here at the Maple Leafs lines. So, they got Mavlich back on the Leafs. Messier and Curry. They got Lack there on the second line with Mavlich. So they got Frank Mavlich and they got Pete Mavlich. That's pretty sick. Third line, Smith's in 85. Drake Batson they actually got there. So, some AHL players. Defense isn't as bad as the Rangers, but it's also not as good as us. I'm hoping Pronger, Niedermayer, that's the Stanley Cup duo. Parent there, 89 starter. Hextall. A bunch of teams have, Hextall as their backup. So, backup goalie doesn't really matter. And, I don't know, again, I like our team better. So, this is for the Eastern Conference. Obviously, winner here goes on a Stanley Cup final. We actually have a home ice advantage, too, which is nice. So, first 2 games here in Hartford. 6-1 win, 7-5 win. So, it's a high-scoring series so far. Next 2 games here in Toronto. 5-3 win, 6-2 win. Sweep the Maple Leafs. Let's go. Going on to the Stanley Cup now. Who are we going to be playing, though? Looks to be either Winnipeg or San Jose. And it's going to be the Winnipeg Jets. This is kind of sick. I guess it would be even better, too, if the Jets had, the old Jets logo. So, we'll go take a look at that team's lines. Laney McDonald there, 18 points through 17 games. So, tons of guys are stepping up here in the playoffs. That's what I was saying. We had tons of guys who, they're just playoff performers. So, Jets here, one of these teams who win their first ever Stanley Cup. Mullen, Federico, and their first line here is Mullen, Federico, and Yager. They got Nichols on the second line there. Honestly, Cousins there, fourth line center. Our team a lot better for forwards. Paul Coffey's sick, but that's no Niedermayer Pronger. Rest of their defense is worse than ours. Goaltending, they have Plant in net. I figured they'd have a good goalie. I was expecting Patrick Waugh. Plant's a close second. They also have a really good backup. Probably had to do with their draft strategy, but I guess all those teams probably took backup goalies just earlier than we did, maybe 15th, 16th round. So, Stanley Cup final here with the Winnipeg Jets. This should be a good one. So we'll sim the first 2 games here, see what happens. 4-3 win, 5-1 loss. So again, it's going to be a close series, I think. 3-2 OT loss, 4-1 loss. Are you kidding me? So we're down 3-1. We need a bit of a miracle here to come back. And another OT loss. So made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. Lose the Winnipeg Jets. The best team we played, honestly, was probably the Capitals team who we beat in the first round. The Jets team might have been the worst team. And of course, we lose them in the Stanley Cup final. But I don't know, it's just the way it goes sometimes. And a lot of results are in here, guys. Boston picks first overall, so that's good to see. The last place team does get the first pick. Detroit and Florida jumping from 12-2 and 13-3 respectively. That's kind of nuts. So I'll take a look at the awards now. I feel like aside from, we're in the Eastern Conference, so what do we get? The Prince of Wales. Aside from the Prince of Wales, probably didn't get much. Trottier there, 19 points in 22 games, so really good playoffs, honestly, for him. And let's see, who did the Jets go through? They beat Minnesota North Stars in 6. Then they beat the Dallas Stars, sweeping them in 4. That's kind of cool. They played Minnesota North Stars, and then the Dallas Stars. Beat the Sharks there in 7, and of course, beat us there in 5. Obviously, I like seeing kind of all the older teams make it, it looks like. We made it, North Stars made it, Nordiques made it, so that is pretty cool. We'll actually take a look at our playoff stats here, just to kind of see. I feel like everyone was kind of coming alive. Trottier, McDonald, Linden, Howe, yeah, our team definitely performed better here in the playoffs than they did in the regular season. Cujo there, pretty good stats, .909. Goals against definitely could have been lower, but just looked like it was high-scoring playoffs kind of overall. So Jets there with their first ever cup. President's Trophy Tampa Bay back-to-back years. Clarence Campbell Jets. We do get the Prince of Wales. I doubt we got any individual awards. Art Ross goes to Gretzky. He also gets the Heart. Murphy James Norris. Lady Bing goes to Gretzky. Calder goes to Lundstrom there on the Canadians. Coffey got the Conn Smythe. Fuhr gets the Vezina. Also got the William Jennings. Mitchell, Bill Masterton. Buffalo coach got the Jack Adams. Datsuk with the Selke. That's pretty sick. Gretzky gets the Ted Lindsay. And then the Rangers Gretzky, though, got the Maurice Richard. So, only got the Prince of Wales, but still, we came pretty close to winning the Stanley Cup. And we barely made the playoffs somehow as the 7th best team in the NHL. So, pretty cool year overall. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that video. If you did, leave a thumbs up. As always, guys, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.